Yo.
What up? What up? Over here. It's Mic Check Mondays. Shout out to everybody in the room already. Oh man, so much going on in hip hop right now. Shout out to everybody in the room. Shout out to everybody that came and joined that special A2HH live on Saturday morning. We got camera guy here, man Ronnie. Ron, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
And what's going on, brother? Man, it was an excellent show on Saturday. I kind of like that Saturday morning vibe, brother. It was good. It was good.
Oh,
Hello?
you're kind of breaking up a little bit. Is that my connection or yours?
It might be your connection. Y'all hear us good? What's good? You hear me?
Hmm?
You hear me now?
What's that?
You hear me now?
Yeah, it's like lagging or something. Hold on, man. Let me see. Yeah, because something was going on my end. I don't know if that's translating to the people, but it looks like on the live it's good,
Yeah.
but it's making it difficult to have a conversation.
What I was saying is I was enjoying the show on Saturday. You hear me?
Let me go out, run the show real quick. Let me go out, and I'm gonna come back in.
All right. So Mike D is having some technical difficulties, but this your guy, camera guy. Give him about 5 minutes. He got that MacBook Pro 6. You know what I mean? So restart and get it right. But Saturday show was good. I mean, Cooper and Mike D talked about the Drake situation. We want to start the show off like that. Normally we start the show off with some sports. We wanted to ease into it. We got a big show today. We got an exclusive interview with Mickey Fax and Pete Rock coming up. The legendary Pete Rock. And we put some respect on his name. One of the architects of hip hop, one of the biggest hip hop producers in the game. That should be dropping in about 15 minutes. We got part one of that. We have a longer conversation that'll be on YouTube, all streaming platforms soon. But we sat down with Pete Rock in Nashville with Mickey Fax about 3 weeks ago. And it was a beautiful, beautiful piece of work, man. I think it's one of the best Pete Rock interviews on the streaming universe. Not to brag or anything, but I hear a lot of people in the comments. What y'all saying in the comments? We talking about Diddy? What's going on, everybody? So we don't want to comment on the Diddy stuff just yet, right? We want to get some more information. We don't know what's going on. Looks like he has a little situation in Miami and California. I mean, we don't have any news. We got people in LA. We got people in Miami. So I got my 305 hat on, even though I'm from the A. Love the Dallas Cowboys. But I got my 305 on today, showing love to the architects of Miami hip hop, Uncle Luke, Trick Daddy, 2 Live Crew. But yeah. So anybody want to hop on? I'm gonna put the link on. I need a co-host. Since Mike D ain't here, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. If y'all want to jump on, we can talk to camera guy. We can make some things happen. Put the link in here. Copy and paste. But I saw the show on Saturday, and I understood where Coop and Mike D were coming from, right? I got to be honest with the people. I'm not a big K Dot fan. I think he's talented. I don't think he's number 2 according to Billboard. I think he is part of the Interscope machine that made him etched in people's minds as one of the best to ever do it. I don't think he has the catalog. I mean, he has Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, Damn. I mean, he's got some phenomenal records, but the last record, The Pimple Butterfly, the last record, Mr. Morales, I wasn't feeling that joint. And let's be honest, Drake has had a consistent run damn near 16, 17 years. I mean, if you want to be technical about it, I don't know if Kendrick, and I had a conversation with Mike D this over the weekend, so I was previewing some of what we're going to talk about. I don't know if K-Dot is better than Lil Wayne. I mean, let's keep it a buck. I mean, if you want to go pound for pound, bar for bar, are we really serious? Are we thinking that K-Dot is better than Lil Wayne? I don't know. I mean, I'll let the people decide. I mean, I think Coop would make that assessment. I think Mike D might make that assessment. When I broke it down for Mike D over the weekend, I said, yo, man, let's be for real. If this is a video game, this is WWE, Monday Night Raw, Nitro, is K-Dot bar for bar better than Lil Wayne? I just don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I got a super chat in here, Mad Max with the super chat. What you saying, brother? Hold on, let me scroll and get you, bro. Let's talk about how Metro and Future got all NYC skits on their album. I thought the South ain't play NY music. Well, that's always been a myth. It's been a back and forth between the North and the South for ages. I mean, folks would come from the North, they would come down South, and they complain about it not being like New York, but they still be down in Atlanta, and they talk about how much they love Atlanta when folks wasn't listening. But on the real, that's always been the deal. I mean, it's always been a situation where NY cats would come down, borrow some of Atlanta's swag, talk to some of our women, and vice versa. We would go up to New York, buy clothes, ride the subway. The women up there like this too. So it was a little different. It was a form of respect both ways. I got Mike D back. Let's get Mike D back online. Hold on, let's get him to the stage. Boom. Mike D.
Hold on 1 second, man.
We got another super chat. Who we got? We got Blue Collar Hustle. He says it's easy to have a long run when you got ghosts in your pen.
Okay, there we go.
He says it's easy to have a long run when you got ghosts in your pen sound. We're really just overlooking like that, like it's cool now. I mean,
well, listen, man. I knew we were gonna go there.
Let me touch on that real quick. Let me touch on that real quick. Because he called me out. Mike, you and I talked about this last week, right? When we say that
we're gonna get Mickey Fax on the line too, and we're gonna talk about this too.
Okay. Let me just add this little point. We talked about it. Yeah. When we talk about this new age of rap, it's very collaborative, right? And people, and when it got to this business, got into it, they want to get credit for providing a bar here and there. Just because you penned it or you wrote it, what does that really mean? You know what I'm saying? It's a collaborative experience. I don't know. Mike, you can touch on it later. Let's add Mickey Fax to this joint. Let's get him on.
I want to talk about that with Mickey. What's good, Mickey? How you doing,
Mick,
bro?
What up? What y'all talking about?
We got Mickey Fax in the building. What up, brother?
What up?
We the legend.
What we were talking about. Go ahead, Ron.
No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike D.
Well, what we were talking about, and this is kind of a carryover from our show on Saturday. Like we were talking about the whole thing with Kendrick, Drake, and that back and forth, right? And so what a lot of the fans are doing, they're gonna discredit what Drake does ahead of time because of the ghostwriting, I guess past with the Quentin Miller thing. And I know Quentin Miller just spoke at your school recently. Mm-hmm. And this is like 2014, 15. At what point are people gonna let this go and allow this man to continue to forge on and be an artist? Or are people just gonna always hang it over his head, regardless of whatever comes out?
They're going to always hang it over his head. I mean, they shouldn't, but they are. I mean, the reality of the situation is like I said, we had Quentin Miller on, and he said if the people knew who got help with writing songs, people would vomit and throw up on themselves. Like it's the reality is this: if you don't need help writing your battle rhymes, you don't need help writing your cypher rhymes, you don't need help writing album cuts, you don't need help writing freestyles on the radio. But for hit records and records that are meant for radio, collaboration is essential. It's just the reality of the situation. Like you can't. What Quentin did was provide a template, and that template was used for a song that was prevalent on the radio. We're talking about somebody, we're talking about Drake, who has written for other rappers, written for other singers. Once you get to a level where you have to take care of other people, ego has to be removed from the scenario. It's no longer about you. It's about the composition of music. But fans in hip hop want to stay underground so much that they disregard the level of reach that hip hop has gotten. But there are legends in people's top fives that have gotten assistance and have gotten help. They don't want to hear that though. A lot of these artists, a lot of these fans don't check the writing credits from the 90s from the 80s, from the 2000s. Your mind will explode when you see some of the names, that it's not just that writer's name and it's not just the production. It's other writers on those records, especially the hit records. I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Listen, I just don't want that caveat to be out there, whatever Drake responds with, where it's like, let's just say if he responds with something that's good. I mean, we just seen it with the Benzino thing, right? The first thing people are thinking, like, well, who wrote this? And it's like, no, let's not do Drake like that. He's proven throughout his career, from the beginning, middle, end, whatever, that he can write for himself, and he's written for others. So we're not going to play him like, you know what I'm saying, like he's somebody like a Dr. Dre who's never really, written a rhyme and always had, writing assistants in that way.
Right. I mean, but people are going to be people that people are going to have the thoughts that they want to have. And I wouldn't argue with those types of people. They're not privy to understanding how the music industry works, and that's fine.
And you are, Mick. You are an authority on this, Mick. You've been in the game for a very long time. You might, you've done a lot of things. You're still doing a lot of things. Tell people what you're working on right now. I know. I got this 305 hat. I don't know if you peeped that. I knew you was jumping on the show today, and I don't know if you want to reveal that just yet, but I wore it for a reason. You know what I mean? But
I mean, we're working on a couple projects. I just spoke to the head of my distribution company and told him that I'm getting ready to start putting some content out, and he was extremely excited. So we have some things in the works, a couple EPs that are on the way. All of them sound completely different, and all of them work with singular producers. Obviously, Pendulum Inc. is still going strong. We have Cassidy teaching on Wednesday. Very excited about that. We just had, like my guy Mike spoke about, we had Quentin Miller last week. Next month we got Freeway. Very excited to have Freeway pull up to the school and teach here at Pendulum Inc. And I encourage everybody to sign up, learn about what it is that you're listening to. And if you are an artist, learn how to write better, learn about the business of music, learn about how to create content online. We have everything covered here at Pendulum Inc.
No doubt. So you and I, you and Mike been bubbling for a minute. You and I just recently started bubbling about a year or so ago. And we linked up maybe about 3 weeks ago on this new initiative to kind of support Pendulum Inc. and support According to Hip Hop. We kind of joined forces on a collaborative experiment, a thought-provoking journey to understand the beats behind the reason behind the beats, the method of the madness per se, right?
Right.
So we linked up in Nashville maybe about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, and we sat down with your guy Pete Rock, and you had a conversation with him. So tell the people a little bit how that came about, your conversation, your relationship with Pete, things you uncovered during that conversation, and I think we're going to segue into a little clip of it after you kind of tee it up for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, Mike reached out to me. According to Hip Hop is family. They've been family with me since 2015. And through the ups and downs, they've stuck by my side and have posted my content whenever I ask. And it's not a lot that I ask.
You don't ask for a lot. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I use my pull when it's necessary. So I just appreciate, the relationship that we have. And Mike reached out to me and was like, hey, man, I might have an opportunity to further expand the brand of Pendulum Inc. as well as According to Hip Hop through a collaboration. And I was intrigued. And then this opportunity with American Songwriter came about with bringing in a producer to talk about their most iconic record or records. And the first person that came to mind is my OG, my big brother, literally Pete Rock. And I've had a relationship with Pete Rock for about, I want to say 13 years now. And we've been very close-knit over the past, I want to say 7 years. And we've just, grown this rapport of not just music. Like we talk about music, but it's not just music. We talk about comics. We talk about basketball, our love for New York City, and everything encompassing. And me and him speak literally every day. I literally texted him last night. He was like, yo, man, I'm tired. I'm gonna hit you in the morning. I'm working on this Common album. So when I asked him to be a part of this, he was like, of course, Mickey, let's make it happen. I'll make it work. And we flew him out, took care of him, came out to Nashville, and we had an incredible conversation, like between two people who've known each other for so long. And this conversation, I think, is going to shock a lot of people in terms of things that he's never said before in any of his interviews previously. We really dug deep into the creation of one of his most iconic records to get an understanding of how he was able to do it and his mindset when doing it. And I think people are going to really love this series that we're going to be doing, because this is not just the only one. What a lot of people don't realize and understand is I have so many contacts to so many producers because I'm the guy that's like, hey, give me the beat that nobody wants. And they love me for that, because the producers always create something straight from what they feel that nobody else will pick. And that's how we build that camaraderie. So I think a lot of people are going to be shocked with the names that we're going to bring through in the future, but I want them to see a little bit of the teaser here with the iconic top 5 producer of all time.
Yeah.
Pete Rock.
Cool. Let me tee it up. So let me pull it up. All right.
When I was a kid, I had 2 sets of music. I had the music that I loved, and
Volume a little low.
just loved, and then I have the music that inspired me. Right, so like the music that I love was like Michael Jackson, obviously. I'm a huge John P. Key gospel fan. You know what I'm saying?
That's surprising.
Yeah,
I'm a
what I'm
gospel guy too. I'm into that.
Yeah,
I'm a gospel artist.
so but then from the rap side, my OG Big Daddy Kane,
Of course.
and Wu Tang,
Yes.
and Big.
Yes.
So for you, who were your musical influences when you were starting out? Both sides, right? Inspiration and just as a kid.
Okay, as a kid, it was all about James Brown. James Brown. To this day, you look on my Instagram, I'm always posting
James. He's like a superhero.
Yeah. James, Michael, Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, Barry White,
the greats,
Isaac Hayes, Aretha Franklin. You know what I'm saying? Patti LaBelle. Those, as a kid, was music artists and the music that I loved. Inspiration was when hip hop started. I'm gonna have to say Disco Mario. You know what I'm saying? One of the first founders, Grand Wizard Theodore, Grandmaster Flash, DST, DXT, and those guys were the ones who said, "You had me like this, like what's going on? Like what are they doing?" You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, and then you had Treacherous 3, Kumo D, you had Cold Crush. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the ultimate things just started to be born and started happening. Spoonie G, people like that, Love Bug Starsky, rest in peace. You know what I'm
saying? And who are some of your favorite producers today? Like, we're in a post-COVID world, and a lot of people I think found their sound during the stay-at-home situations. So who have you been hearing recently that kind of perked your ears?
Alchemist.
Oh my goodness. He is a monster.
Vitamin D. A lot of people don't talk about this dude. He's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Producer. Who else? That I've enjoyed during, all of my peers, Premier, High Tech, Knots, of course, he's Bananas, Ninth Wonder, Crisis.
I was just about to say Crisis. Crisis told me to tell you
He told me to tell you stop playing.
No, come on, man.
Get it together.
I know.
You know, Crisis he's a monster.
Yes, he's a beast. And you know, I remember when his beats were sounding one way, and then I just seen and heard the transition go from one way to next level. I'm like, this dude's gonna put me out of business. And but you know, music lovers, we really don't go out of business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We actually, when it's in our hearts, we're always gonna express it.
Right. And you know, a lot of these producers that we named, you know, obviously they're our peers. These are people that, you know, we've interacted with. And
Large Professor too. Let's not forget him. Can't forget Large.
That's another legend.
Yes.
You know, I think that these producers, right, like they all started from somewhere.
Yeah, of course.
They all paid their dues.
Yes.
They all put in the groundwork
Yes.
to get where they are.
Yes.
And I think that when people enter this beat for beat contest, I want them to, you know, look at them as the next Large Professor, the next Crisis, you know, the next Knots, so that, you know, we have someone such as yourself, someone such as Bink come in and be like, yeah, this guy right here is the producer that I'm paying attention.
And it's funny because me and Bink have conversations about things like this.
We are looking for the next generation of producers. Is it you? I think it might be. So you need to sign up to According to Hip Hop's Beat for Beat Challenge. Trust me, it's going to change your life.
Wow.
And for the people out there that were saying that the sound wasn't, you know, what it was, that's because we're actually on this live and debuting it now. I'm sure that the sound on the
That's real technical, right? We gotta get an audio interface at the output, and we didn't have the right output out. We'll get that fixed out. You know what I'm saying? It's no problem.
when y'all see the whole thing, it's gonna be it already is. But yeah, that's really dope, man. Look, first of all, man, I appreciate you, Mickey, man, and you went out there and did an incredible job interviewing Pete. And I mean, he was comfortable, you was comfortable, and y'all, you know, basically were able to have a hip hop conversation. And I learned some things that I didn't even know. And I know we came together and kind of put together some of the questions just based on research and just some of our hip hop knowledge. But you know, when you guys see the full interview, some things that I don't think that Pete's ever disclosed in other interviews, at least not that I've seen.
Yeah, he said that in the interview. He said that there were things that he never said before, and he unveiled, mainly because, you know, that's bro. And a lot of the other producers that, you know, we're gonna bring through, we have that same similar kind of relationship, and we're not gonna spoil who we're gonna bring next or third, fourth, fifth. Just know that we are tapping into some of the greatest producers in hip hop history.
Yeah, man, you tapping into your interviewing gene, man. You did a great job, man. Straight up, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you.
Well, Mick, I know you gotta go. You got class tonight. You're teaching at the school, the next generation of hip hop artists, producers, or whatnot. Leave the people with some words. I know you say you got some projects coming out. I know you still, you know, we rocking with us, our collaboration. We got some surprises coming down the pipe. What's next?
Yeah, man. I mean, right now, you know, we got Cassidy pulling up to pendulummink.com on Wednesday. If you're interested, just again type pendulummink.com. We got Freeway next month. Should be very interesting. My next project offering is going to be called It's Only Us Here, the deluxe version. So it's going to be 6 extra songs on there. One of them songs is a dedication to Mike Tyson. That should probably be out sometime in April. I do have some other offerings that's going to be on the way, a couple EPs. Please be on the lookout for that. We're also going to be giving away some scholarships with According to Hip Hop and American Songwriter, as well as some separate scholarships with DistroKid. So please be on the lookout for these opportunities. If you want to be a part of a community to grow as an artist and just as a human being, you know, send me a DM or sign up to pendulummink.com.
Crazy. That tribute to Mike Tyson is gonna be crazy, man. I know you're gonna see that fight in July with Jake Paul. We gotta talk.
I'm trying to be there. I'm trying to make the theme music for him to walk out to us. Hey, man, That's what I'm
let's get there.
Let's do it. Let's go to Dallas. Ain't nothing but a word, brother. That's my second home. Let's go. All right, Mick, we appreciate you, brother.
All right, Mick, appreciate you, brother.
All right, guys. Peace.
Yes, sir. Let's get to these super chats real quick. Matt Max says, when Dot makes a song like 0 to 100, you can bring his name to me and don't have one joint. He don't have one joint better than that. What do you think about that? You think Kendrick don't have a better song better than 0 to 100?
He doesn't.
I'm gonna disagree with that. I mean, I think
don't kill my vibe. Maybe but 0 to 100 is a hard record.
It is a hard record.
Pause.
Between the two, I'm gonna pick "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe," but I get where Mad Max is coming. Blue Collar Hustle Super Chat says it's like saying they're going to discredit R. Kelly when he's at high school. It happened. Show me some K-Dot reference tracks, and I'll shut up. Well, K-Dot has written for others, and I will say this: when what Mickey said, and I know you probably sent the super chat before Mickey started talking about hit records, right? Kendrick has songs that have done well on the charts, but Kendrick doesn't really make hit radio records like that to even have that kind of help that we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know, he doesn't. I mean, like I said, what's Kendrick's biggest radio hit? I mean, would you say? I mean, I think on paper is Humble. And Humble is,
wasn't the song with Drake? Wasn't it the song with that
yeah, Poetic Justice?
Probably.
Probably. But again, Drake's on there. So, you know, if you want to talk about help, Drake helped him on that record. It is what it is. Because that record's not going to do all of those numbers without Drake's presence on that record. It's just the truth.
I mean, we can rapidy pontificate to the top, to the sky, to the cows come home, man. This man is not better than Drake. He's not better than
You don't think Kendrick's better than Drake?
No, he's not. I mean, he could probably technically rhyme better than Drake, but he's not a better artist than Drake. This is not the truth. It's not the truth.
We'll speak to why you think that.
You look at it. I mean, Drake's been doing this shit since 2007, 2008.
What does Drake do better than Kendrick? Like, let's take it down the line.
I mean, Drake has so many different. He came out with the sing-songy rap, right? He came out with the Best I Ever Had joint. And then he had that Lil Wayne run where if you listen to Lil Wayne, I love Lil Wayne. I think Lil Wayne is one of the most underrated. Well, I don't know if he's underrated, but a lot of people sleep on where he ranks of all time. You want to talk about writing, you know, Lil Wayne kind of sounded a little bit like Drake a little bit during some of that era, right? You know what I'm saying? Then you got the era when he did the little you know, he went to the Caribbean a little bit and tried to do the little Afro beats Drake lane, and then he did the techno lane. He's just some more versatile artist.
About an overall artist. I'm talking about on some rap shit.
On some rap shit, then I mean, you know, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to say. He's got more songs on some rap shit. I mean, maybe we need to do it. Maybe we need to do like one of those little joints that we did and just go back to back on some rapidy rap, Drake versus Kendrick, and let's see where it shakes out. 20 for 20.
I will say this, man, on a battle level, I think Drake's more battle tested on wax than Kendrick is. So if you ask me, you know, who I would have in a battle right now, I would have to say Drake, you know what I mean? Just based on the resume. In a vacuum, my ears would say, okay, that nigga who's rapping on Feel and, you know, Control and all that shit might out rap the dude that's on, you know, 0 to 100. But what I've learned doing this show, I have to speak on what is and not what I think could be, i.e. Andre 3000. I can't, if he doesn't have a single song with 3 rap verses, I can't imagine what that would sound like if that never happened. I can't sit here and tell people that Miss Jackson, or I don't want to say Miss Jackson because I never liked that song, Rosa Parks is the same song with 2 Andre verses. I don't know. That doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And I'm not trolling. I'm not trolling. And
he's not trolling people.
I'm not trolling. And this came to my mind. I mean, this came to my mind while we were on the live. If you really being for real. Now I'm talking about technically rapping. Yes, Kendrick Lamar is better than this artist that I'm about to name. He's technically better, bar for bar, and how you come into it like that. He's better. But does Kendrick have a better career than 50? I mean, let's be for real. Let's be for real. If you want to go song for song, all the songs from mixtape 50, from Get Rich or Die Trying 50, Hustler's Ambition 50, Massacre 50, Curtis 50. Are we really saying
the knock on 50's career is the longevity or lack thereof? That's the knock. Now, I've always felt like 50 DMX have had kind of similar fates where it's like they never really got whack or didn't make good stuff. They still were who they were. The game kind of just changed on them and they didn't change with it. And that's fine. You know what I mean? And that's what happens, Blue Collar Hustler, when you write your own stuff. When you write your own stuff, the times could possibly leave you behind. And I'm going to say this without saying too much. A lot of the people who adjust so well to the times and who are so versatile to the times, they might be having some sort of help. Just saying it like that. Now, as far as 50 goes, Get Rich or Die Trying the monster. Some could tell you that Good Kid, Mad City is the closest thing that Kendrick would have to that, but I don't think Good Kid, Mad City's Get Rich or Die Trying. But then what people will say, the narrative on 50, and I remember when T.I. was calling him out to do a versus, the narrative on 50 is what does he have after Get Rich or Die Trying? And I think that anybody who would argue the Kendrick and 50 thing would say the same thing. Like Kendrick has Section 80, he has Good Kid, Mad City, he has To Pimp a Butterfly, he has Damn.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Let me get some of these super chats real quick because I know we're getting backed up. Was it Dagon with the super chat says Nas made Nostradamus, Kendrick made MMTBS, which is Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Kendrick hears everyone counting them out. His Stillmatic is on the way. I hope so. And I do think that Kendrick hears what people are saying about Mr. Morale. I know that the critics, the boule, if you will, in the media, they give that album high praise, but the streets don't give it that same level of praise. And you gotta listen to the streets. Hip hop is about the streets. It's not about the Mark Lamont Hills or all these other people who are writing these long dissertation articles about how great they say your stuff is. The numbers on the tour, awesome, did very well. But we also, how many of you guys actually went to the tour? What does that audience look like for real? Mad Max with the super chat says, well, Kendrick did steal flow and the hook for the DNA and from a SoundCloud rapper. Exposed that years ago. And his songs have writing credits. LOL. Leroy Green with the super chat says, what up, Dean? Talking to Mickey. He said, Pensman, TJ, here to just say thanks for everything that you do. And if you can take 1 second to let me know, I'm crazy with the bars. LOL. Jay Short with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, Drake came to the court with his own reference and springs in his shoes. I'm sorry, he came to the court with his own referees and springs in his shoes. And because he dropped 50, we're supposed to say it's okay. He's great. Then when people call him out, we get told that we don't know about business. Mad Max to the super chat says, he has a better voice, Mike. Slicker wordplay, picks better beats, and adapting to music. I could pick 25 pure hip-hop records better than Dot's whole discography. Okay,
that's true. I agree with Mad Max.
A better rap voice. I agree with that. He has a better rap voice than Kendrick.
I wholeheartedly agree with Mad Max. If we broke it down, I can take 50, I can take 25, 50 songs and 25 K-Dot records, and it'll be closer than you think. And then Drake, it's not even close, man. Hey, we got a guest on. Let me bring Esquire.
I was just about to ask you if Amir was in yet.
No. Amir's not on. We got Esquire to the joint.
Oh, what's good, Esquire? Esquire's in the building. I've never seen Esquire. What's up?
What's going on, family?
What's going on?
Man, first of all, thanks for having me on. I want to say I'm a huge fan of the show. I've been following y'all for 3+ years now, and I can't miss an episode. It's how I get my regular hip hop fix, man. I can't really have these types of in-depth conversations that y'all have with my normal circle. So this is refuge for me.
Well, we appreciate you tuning in to A2HH Live, and now Mike Check for all these years, man. I'm gonna tell Coop that you dropped in.
Where you from, Esquire? Where you from, brother?
I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. Man.
Okay.
So we got a little bit of a southern connection going.
Okay, so what's on your mind, brother?
Man, so much. Y'all know I regularly super chat, but I wanna pick up on this J. Cole thing because this is kind of relevant right now. So I know that Mike and Coop respect J. Cole's pen. Y'all recognize him as one of the sharpest spitters in the game today. Where I disagree with you is where you all hold him in the overall pantheon of every era. And I think the notion that J. Cole doesn't have quality albums that are memorable is severely overstated. And I'll tell you why. Number one, I'll admit his best work is on his mixtapes. 2014 Forest Hills Drive, as great as it is, it's not in the upper echelon with the Illmatics, the Chronics, the Doggy Styles, the Life After Death, the Aqueminize of the world. No way around it. He'll tell you that. But with a lot of the artists that y'all hold over him, what you don't talk about is how quickly their careers faded in comparison to how long J. Cole has consistently put out music that really defined what this era is about. DMX came up the last time, right?
Yeah.
I asked y'all, when is the last time that you listened to any DMX album after And Then There Was X? Outside of the singles. I know he got hit. I know he got them. But what was the album that had Lord Give Me a Sign on it? That was I can't remember the name right off the head.
Not the Great Depression, but it was after that.
Listen, man. J. Cole's worst album, whatever you feel like it is nowhere near as trash as that album. And I love DMX. He's a top 20 rapper of all time. One of the most important voices ever. Huge fan. He got his first 2 albums on wax. Love him. On his best day as a pure pound for pound lyricist, he's not J. Cole. DMX's strength was the fact that he could connect with people based on the pain in his stories, his voice, the delivery, and just how raw he was, how versatile. DMX didn't have for example, J. Cole's second verse on I Get Up. Speak the words to show the blind what it's like to what did he say? Speak the words to show the deaf what it's like to listen. Or he said, no, paint a picture to show the deaf what it's like to listen. And speak the words to tell a blind man what he missing. For all my people doing time, man, up in prison. Thought you had to resort to crime, man. Fuck the system. We raising babies up in Hades where it ain't no hope. Ain't no fathers don't take no scholarships to slang no dope. Politicians hollering about problems, but I ain't gonna vote. Keep talking about change, still we floating in the same old boat. Tell me how I'm supposed to feel with the president spoke. When he ain't never had to struggle, ain't never been broke. Ain't even rolled through the ghetto, ain't never been close. Trusting this government like trusting the devil and oath. A rebel with quotes, I get up. To teach the seeds how to lead, not to follow. The present is our gift, but our seeds got tomorrow. So please, people, raise your kids and help them overcome that bullshit they daze us with. I blaze this shit and get up. This is 2009. That's 2009, dog. That's 15 years ago.
Esquire dropping that knowledge.
Esquire, pause.
Go ahead.
Now that's what I be asking for people to do. When you want to prove that Fat Joe is who you think he is and Ludacris is who they think they are, give me, when I say where the bar is at, that's what I'm talking about, Esquire. I'm with you on that. That's great stuff. And like you said, it's 15 years ago.
Yes,
really? I don't know if he's got a verse like that.
Fat Joe is not the one we want to talk about today. Fat Joe is not a top 50 MC of all.
Yo, Esquire, we appreciate you coming on, man. Call in next week, man. We got an artist. We got an artist in New York named Amir. He's got a show tonight. He's got to jump on real quick. But y'all saw how easy it was to call in. Esquire's been rocking with Mike D and Coop for a very long time. We appreciate you calling in. Call back in on Wednesday. We might have that feature on Wednesday, Saturday, anytime there's A2HH Live going forward. But shout out, man. Esquire, much love, brother.
No doubt. Much love to y'all.
Yes, sir. Somebody said to prove a point, you got to remember the verse word for word. No, just tell me what verse it is. If you don't know the verse like that, you don't have to know it word for word. Just be like, yo, that verse on the Yo, Amir in the building.
Amir in the building, brother. What's going on?
Yo, peace. What up, brother?
What's going on? How you living, brother?
You know, we're about to start rocking in a few minutes. And I guess I don't know if you want to call us a backstage, but I'm gonna call it a cubby hole.
A cubby
So,
hole.
right, tell the people where you at right now. All right, we met Amir when we were
Jermaine.
We met Amir. We met Amir when we were in Nashville, interviewing Pete Rock. And
yes, sir.
And so, we've been in contact ever since. And I know Amir has a show tonight. So tell the people what's going on with it.
Yes, sir, man. We over here right now. We're gonna be at New Blue, NYC, 151 Avenue C, New York City tonight. Some of the Soul Brother Collective, myself, few artists, celebrate, life, good music, and everything in between. So we probably, it started, the doors open at 8, I guess. We probably gonna start rocking around 8:30, 8:40.
Right.
And have some fun. That's what it comes down to, man. It's creating a vibe, having some good fun.
Right. So Amir, kind of tell the people your vibe, man. How you approaching the game, your music, you know what I'm saying, your background, a little bit of who you are as an artist, and what you bring to the game here.
Well, for me, man, right now, I'm approaching everything just trying to just be present. Not even trying to just being present more so than anything, being I can't say intense, but I say intentional is more than anything. I think a lot of the times dudes make music and it doesn't have any intention, right? I mean, my intention is always to be felt, even if sometimes people don't remember your lyrics or your bars, if they remember how you made them feel. So lately, I think that's kind of one of those points in your art, and then just not being unapologetic about, how you approach it. So for me, that's where I'm at. I got a project. Of course, we got the album with Pete, the Dope Boy Soul. To be the date I guess would be TBD, right? But I also have an album I did with Arsonist called No Soul Left Behind that is already packaged up, and the records are mixed and mastered as well. And I have another project that I've been working on. The title right now is kind of Live for the Mezzanine, but for the most part, my music, man, just kind of speaks to the whole piece, beloved. We in backstage, so it's live, babe. They're the whole piece, beloved. Just vibe, man. And that's kind of what I'm working on. I don't really have like I'm not really a what you see, what you get kind of person, because I have a lot of layers to me, right? So I just try to just be as human as possible on stage and honest on the records, man, because I think that's what people feel the most. A lot of rappers and artists, just artists wear facades, and they get in, it's like camera action, and they turn into somebody who they think the people want them to be, as opposed to just being your organic self, man. Nothing works better than being truthful, man. So I just pray that I can always stay honest and stay closest to the truth that God put inside of me to and be used as a vessel to convey that message, man. And my message may not always be positive, because everything that's positive, everything that's honest ain't always positive. So, but for the most part, my intent is to, is always to be in the right headspace and get the right energy, bro.
Well, speaking of honesty and just writing wordsmanship, excuse me, we were talking about Drake and this whole thing with Kendrick and all of that.
Yeah.
And whenever we talk about Drake in any capacity, the whole conversation of ghostwriting comes up. What's your thoughts about the history of ghostwriting in hip hop? And is there a place for it, or is there no place for it at all?
I think, Sonny, my brother, I think that there is a place for it, right? But I do believe that with certain artists, man, like when you start talking about like producers, they need artists to write for them. I think that's acceptable, right? People collecting together to do a rec or hook or or collaboration of sorts. To me, that's respectable. When we start talking about dudes writing your bars and you poking your chest out like you're the best, then it becomes a little bit more, I think you can put that on the scale of justice and ask what is creative justice on that. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I think certain people who admit, like, yo, they're not fronting. Like, I think once you front like somebody not writing it, that's when it's a problem. But if you let the world know, I didn't write it, and I'm not saying I'm the best, I want to make the hottest record, then, live in your truth. But when people try to hide and put up the facade, that's when I think it fucks with it messes with the integrity of the record itself. Yeah.
For sure. One of my favorite records from you, Ultra Gravity, man. I listen to that like all the time, man. That's crazy. Like, he gotta put me in the place of where y'all were when y'all created that, and like what was the mindset of writing that record?
I think when you create with somebody like a Pete, man, a lot of it we just vibe, man. We don't really have like that record was really just in the room talking. When I heard it, it just sound like the gravity in the room. It feels like it has a sway to it. So I was always talking about how certain artists have a gravitational pull to them. Like when you do a show, the gravity in the room may leave or elevator come down or XYZ. And I think from there we just took the idea and built on it. So I did the verses. Then when I gave it back to Pete and Jamie, they just mixed the joint and we just took it from there. And then that 21 grams was done pretty quick. So a lot of the records weren't like super cerebral as far as like, compound thinking on it. It was very like in the moment type of records. But with someone like him, he's meticulous and myself, you just learn how to record with him and his record structure. So with that was more of like a free form record for him.
I know when we were in Nashville, man, it was me, you, and Mickey. We were chopping it up, and Pete too. And you brought up the fact that because I know Mickey said he went to
NYU,
and I think you said you went to Fordham, right?
Yes, sir.
But you got your master's. Like, speak to a little bit of that, and like what I'm saying, like how you went from getting your master's and and still keeping hip hop as a part of your life and as a part of your craft.
Because hip hop was there before school, right? Yeah. I don't think that when you learn shit. Excuse me, I curse.
Yeah, you
yeah.
It's
okay.
Hip-hop,
yeah, when you can learn shit, I don't think it takes away from how much hip hop or less you. I think back in the days, niggas probably looked at you like, oh, that's some nerdy suckers. But now with tech and everything coming into play, every rapper out here want to learn about tech or you want to get down with the AI, all this, the buzzwords of the month, right? But when I went to school because it was free, number one. Number two, I had a free ride. They was paying me to go, and I used that money to kind of go record. And what also made it crazy was I went because of music, but I also went because it was also me making the most of my time. I was just trying to maximize time when I wasn't in the studio, and they paying you to go. I'd be an idiot not to take that, right? So I ended up knocking out my bachelor's in computer science and my master's was in cybersecurity. But the funny thing, I did that shit in the 4 years. So I had to go to school year round carrying a full load. So I was doing 18 credits, 12 to 18 credits for a little under 4 years, and I knocked out both. But it wasn't because I was trying to be some like, some nigga that was trying to just do it. I just did it because it was paying for the studio time. But it worked out in my favor. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is dope. Well, yeah. Good luck on the show tonight. No, man. Good luck on the show tonight. Let the people know what else you got.
I appreciate you. Now, like you, man. I definitely appreciate. I know we was at was it American Songwriter magazine when we met in Nashville, yes, and it was a quick in and out. I definitely need to get back. I know you in Atlanta, so we touched down. I think we're supposed to go to. I got a text today. We're supposed to go to Seattle in like 2 weeks. So. Okay. I don't know if that's still connected with y'all got going on, but if it is, I'll definitely tap in with you. But
for sure.
But yeah, man, just we having fun, man. Just I know my bro working on that Common album and all that. So I guess what
have you heard any of it? I mean, is there anything you can speak to on it? I mean, or is that just locked down?
I'm not qualified to speak to nothing, okay. Man. I know, I just say this. I'll say that, I think I might have heard 1 or 2 beats on it. And sometimes when me and Pete in the lab, ask me to assist with the pen, like you talked about Ghostwrite out, but it's one shot, one kill over here. So if that's the case, if he lays the beat, I lace the flow. I want to say a puff line. There's no Diddy these days, right? So,
allegedly, right, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on.
So nah, man. I just look forward to what I don't even know the name of that album. We got that. We got Dope Soul coming. I don't have a date, in XYZ. A lot of people think I would be mad about that. Nah, man, but just like I'll tell, and I said to everybody, like, I would never get upset about that, man, because that's the music business. It's not the music friendship at that point, right? So, and what he has going on with Common is also in conjunction to to like propel everything else we got going on with True Soul, man. So I mean, being the first signee to True Soul under that like legacy artist and I guess that type of producer, there's a certain type of pressure, but it's no pressure when you constantly work on your craft. You know what I'm saying? When coach throw you in the game, you know how to get busy and maneuver. So at this point, I feel comfortable with with everything we got going on. So you can look out for that too. That album, the Common album with Pete, Common and Pete, myself, the Dope Boy Soul album. I got another project too, my brother Austin. It's called No Soul Left Behind. That's 9-10 joints. Is fire. It depends on how it play out. It might drop before Dope Boy Soul. We don't know yet. And I'm working on a lot of other records too with a lot of other different people. So it's been fun, man. Like I'm really just enjoying myself, man. Taking my time to rock out.
Yeah, you working, man. And y'all got to check out Amir's music, man. Like for real, no gas. Like shit is hard.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, but I mean, I know it's kind of last minute for these guys, man. But when they come up, man, we got another show coming up too. I think when is it, Trey?
April 8th.
April 8th in the city. So we'll tap in for that too. So
yeah. We'll tap in for sure. We'll tap in for sure.
Look.
And we're gonna come your way. You come our way. We're gonna make it right.
I appreciate y'all. Tell Mickey and everybody on y'all side and y'all whole team, man. I respect what y'all do, man, and salute, brother. Sincerely, the real way. Because they don't even know. We text, and we had some real, light, real conversations when I was there. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, we got to break bread again, man. Definitely. So let us know.
That chicken. Where did we go? Hattie. What was it?
Hattie B's. I knew I was gonna bring up the chicken. You brought it up the project. You know what I mean?
That chicken was crazy. It was crazy. It was great.
Crazy. We're gonna do it again, brother. Boy, have a good show tonight.
Thank you, brother.
We'll tap in with you in a couple of weeks, and we'll go from
there.
Appreciate it. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
your stuff is dope, man. Shout out to John Phillips with the super chat. He says, Diddy going to Bali with Russell. I think it's too late for that. I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly, we don't know what's going on. We ain't gonna speak on it. Everybody got their situations they can deal with. Some of y'all in the chat got super situations y'all got to deal with. You know what I mean? So we don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, this is a public situation. We'll let it play out. I'm not gonna put dirt on nobody's grave prematurely, especially somebody. I don't know everything that the brother did. Being in the music business off and on in our way for the time that we've been in it, we've heard some things here and there, but that's none of our business. You know what I'm saying? I met Puff once back in LA. Pause. Nothing crazy happened. You know what I'm saying?
Have any stories?
I got no story. Adapt him up. He was like, everything was cool. We had a couple conversation. No, nothing weird. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm not gonna jump on dude right now. Pause.
Listen, I mean, all jokes aside, we're just gonna have to see how things like this play out. And I think that one thing for sure at this point, and we saw this with Michael Jackson when all that stuff went on, when they raided his place and stuff. He's gonna have to make some sort of statement, and it can't be through a tweet. It can't be through an Instagram post. I think Puff's going to have to get in front of the camera. He's going to have to speak. He's going to have to either speak in an interviewing format, whatever, and be very candid, because right now it's just a bunch of other voices without people hearing from that main person. And really, I think it was Cam who might have said this, and he was talking about it wasn't even talking about Puff. I think he was talking about Jordan Poole or somebody. Anyway, yeah, if you don't go out there and say anything, the rumors are just going to take over, if they are rumors. Like all the other outside voices and stuff, people are going to just take in what they're hearing there if they haven't heard anything from you.
Well, it goes both ways. R. Kelly sat down with Gayle King right when all that stuff, and I think that made the situation worse.
That's because of how he did it and how he handled it. I don't know if his situation could be any better, because there was just so much going on. He was a repeat offender in this publicly. He had already been through this before, and and got exonerated and all of those things. So with R. Kelly, it's a little different. I think Puff really he has to say something. I don't want to say needs to. At this point, he has to say something.
At this point, Mike, it might. I'm just looking at the headlines, looking at the news. It might be too late. I mean, he might have should have done this a couple weeks ago, a month ago. I think.
I don't know why he didn't, and I do think that obviously you get all kind of legal advice when you're a brand like him. And again, I'll take that back to Michael Jackson as well. He got all kind of legal advice to say settle these things because he just didn't have time to fight it and wanted to keep the brand going. I don't know if maybe he was getting legal advice to not say anything up until this point, but at that point now where something has to be said, and I agree with you. I think he should have said something a while back, but that time is done. He's just gotta say something and move forward. I think one of the more interesting things too is the fact that not everybody has horror stories when it comes to their dealings with Puff in the music business, and I just find it interesting that many of his quote unquote friends and peers who've been around him for over 20 to 30 years aren't saying anything favorable in his light. I think that's interesting that nobody, and y'all, I don't have to say anybody's name, but y'all know, none of those individuals are showing up like, you know what, man, Puff wouldn't do nothing like that. Puff didn't do, you know what I'm saying? They're not saying anything. And I think that's interesting. Take that for what it is. I mean, I'm not saying interesting in the fact that I think, it's a guilty sentence. I'm just saying, like, when that media comes down on you, man, people scatter, man, and folks don't have your back at all.
Once they come, man. And it's just we had an action-packed first hour, bro.
That was fun, man. I like the fact that we were able to bring Mickey on to talk about that ghostwriting thing, because whenever I try to explain some of those things, people think that I'm making excuses for having ghostwriters in hip hop. The reality of it is, it's just there, man. I mean, it's been there from the beginning. It's been there since Sugar Hill Gang. LL wrote MC Light's verse on Self-Destruction. That doesn't discredit her as an MC overall. It just doesn't. It's entertainment. And again, I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that's the reality. All I'm saying is I don't want people to use that reference track from 2014-15 to discredit anything that a person makes moving forward. If Drake beats this man Kendrick on Wax, which we'll see if that happens or not. If he does, I don't want anybody out here talking about, well, he ain't write it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's just it resembles what people do when it comes to Eminem. Don't give Kendrick that way out. Let him win song for song.
Yeah, which I have my doubts. But I want to talk about, I'll actually hit like and subscribe. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Check out A2HH Live with Mike D and Coop on Wednesdays. We're trying to squeeze that Saturday. That slot was a good slot.
Saturday was lit. I think we can.
Saturday was lit. Saturday was
lit. I was
lit.
talking to Coop about it, man. He really liked the Saturday too. I thought that Saturday morning was jumping. Everybody was available.
We might do that. Saturday night, H2HH Live with Mike D and Coop. Hit like and subscribe. I want to talk about our newsletter. Make sure you go out and subscribe to our newsletter. We'll have news every week, events, exclusives, things that we're going to talk about on our website. But Mike, we had a playlist this week. Let's go through the playlist real quick and kind of talk about what we picked. We had 10 songs we picked. Each week we're going to pick 10 songs on Spotify on our playlist, a week according to hip hop, March 24th, 2024. Let's just share it real quick and let's go through it real quick.
Okay, let's go through it.
Now I want people to guess who had what, who did what. It's been hard this week. Last week was a little bit easier, but hold on.
Jermaine Johnson with a super chat says, fellas, when I'm DJing, is it okay for me to play All About the Benjamins? What about Special Delivery remix? I don't know what to do. Play the records, man. The records live on their own. I think this notion that we can't play music because of the individual, that's in it, I think that's something that people kind of got to get away from, man.
And nothing's happened just yet. Nothing's happened just yet, guys. I mean, it looks bad, but nothing happened just yet. So, I mean, despite what they say about Michael Jackson, I like Michael Jackson records. I'll always play Michael Jackson records. I don't like again. It's the music. I can separate the artist from the musician. That's always been my stance. You know what I'm saying?
Music from the artist, yeah, you're right. I mean, you got to.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people separate their employees from the people. You know what I'm saying? For their position, we don't know who cuts our checks. The people that work 9 to 5s, we don't know. If we knew everybody's situation, everybody's temperament or disposition about certain things, we would probably just be in our houses all day long. And it just don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? We go to Walmart. We want to go to Walmart and get our stuff. We don't know how the product was made. It could be made in the most craziest conditions known to man. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We talking on the phone and texting on the phone right now. We don't know what kind of conditions these phones are made in. I don't know.
The truth of the matter is music, and I think people got to look at it in this way. Music is a product, right? And it's not just the individual who's singing it or performing it who is behind that product. There's a whole staff behind that product. And if you like that product and that product has value to you, then you're buying into the product. But see, the difference with music in the music industry is they sell you on the individual to get you to buy the product. You have to be a consumer of music that rocks with the actual music. Now, if you feel like, yeah, I was a fan of this person and you got posters on your wall of this person and all that, then yes, it's okay to say, you know what, I don't rock with that person like that anymore because of what they did. But the music shouldn't be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Even though it seems like they're one and the same. If you like, there are artists who I've met or, you know, who've done things and said things I disagree with, but if the music's hard, the music's hard, man. Like,
Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the music is the music, man.
Yeah, the music's fire, it's fire. Like, you know, there could be listen, Kid Rock has said a lot of things I disagree with. But that bomb with the bomb, the bang, that shit fire. It is what it is.
Well,
that's not good. I'm not gonna sit here and hear a song and be like, man, I don't like that song because I don't like that person. I mean, song.
Yeah, Kid Rock said a lot of stuff I do agree with, but that's neither here nor there. But nobody's perfect. I don't agree with everything everybody says, and I don't disagree with everything everybody says, unless you're some crazy whacked out person. But let's go to the playlist, Mike. We had this is our list for the week. It was a good. I think this week was way better than last week. I really put some thought into it. What you think, bro?
Yeah. I'm digging these records.
I mean, we hit it off. We hit it off. We hit it off a West Side Gun real quick. Super Kick Party. You know, crazy record.
That beat's insane. Shout out the conductor, man.
That's a crazy record. And you know, let us know in the chat who you think picked that one. We both had 5. I had 5 joints. Mike had 5 joints. Mike D had 5 joints, and we kind of mixed it up.
We got to throw 5 in there too.
Yeah, we might increase it to 15 next week.
Yeah.
We might increase it to 15, or maybe 20. Make it an even 20. You know what I mean? Second joint was Bars, underrated record. What you think about that joint, bro?
It's just crazy, man. Wayne killed that.
Havoc on the beat. Chainz killed the joint too. I ain't gonna
front. No, Chainz was always rapping with rapping at the level of Wayne on this project. But yeah, Wayne is just rapping at a very high level right now.
I think the whole record was very underappreciated. That was a really, really good album.
Yeah, it was.
Thelonious, Common and Slow Village was the next joint. I'm not gonna give it away, but Mike picked this one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give it away.
Why'd you pick that one?
I mean, I'm always randomly vibing to that song. I think I was playing it. It just came up in my thought process. And I was thinking about Common's verse on there when he was like, I trick daddy MCs and I don't know, man, nigga who could take it where I take it. You better off going to God like Mace did. I don't know if Common was coming at rappers when he name drops, but it always sounds like that. I don't know, man. My mind goes in different places because I think our conversation about Fat Joe and then the Trick Daddy and Fat Joe, and I'm thinking like, Common name drop Trick Daddy, but I don't know if it was a positive or not. But regardless, love the song.
Great record. The next record we had was Our Streets, ASAP Ferg, DJ Premier. Man, that's a crazy record, man. I mean, I was just talking to you about that last night, Mike. you know, people wouldn't pick it. But if I had somebody give me a list of top 20 Primo tracks, that's a
Oh,
hard record.
nah, I don't know.
It makes it in the top 20. I mean, just because it wasn't big doesn't mean it's not good. You know what I mean? If you didn't know Primo from Adam and you just heard that beat, you'd be like, man, that's a crazy record.
So you think the timing of that record, it coming out in a current era, makes it underappreciated?
Exactly. That came out in like 1996, 1997. And if Jay was rapping on it, or if it was somebody else, you know what I'm saying, or Nas rapping on the record, I mean, you know.
What is it about the Nas and Premier collaboration that people love so much? Do they just fit that perfectly? Because people talk about them like they've created so much stuff together. They really haven't created a whole lot of stuff together. It's very few.
What they made: New York State of Mind Part 1, New York State of Mind Part 2. Nas is like, what else was it?
Represent. You got Memory Lane, of course.
Hard record.
Yeah, crazy record. I Gave You Power. What else did he do on It Was Written? I Gave You Power. They did that record on Nostradamus. Yeah, they got about Second Childhood. They got less than 10 songs together, I would say. Maybe about, I mean, they have that one recent song, Beat Breaks. But yeah, I would say they probably got about, let's say, 10 to 12 records together.
I mean, the records that they made are undeniable, man. New York State of Mind Part 1 and Part 2, Memory Lane. I mean, damn, Nas is like, I mean, that had us hyped back in the day. You remember when the Nas is like came out? I was like, well, shit.
I thought it was something that I missed from a previous era. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Freedom of Jail clips inserted. A baby being born same time. A man is murdered. The beginning and end.
Crazy record. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy record.
That's going to be on the next playlist.
Next record on the playlist is Wu Wear, The Garment Renaissance.
I love that record.
That's a crazy. Yo,
Method Man's hook is incredible, man.
That's a crazy record. I'll give it away. I'll spoil it. I picked that joint. I was gonna put Bring the Pain on the list, but I was like, let me go outside the box and pick up a Wu-Tang joint that's kind of like off the beaten path that folks wouldn't expect to pick. You know what I mean?
I love the beat on there too.
Yeah, RZA got down on that. That's a crazy, crazy record. Crazy. Next record was Precision by Big Sean, a new joint. Crazy record. Crazy record. Crazy.
Shout out to Sean. It's his birthday today too. Shout out to Sean.
Why'd you pick that record, Mike?
It's bubbling, man, and I think Sean needs to get his props. You know who Sean is in this era? He's Ludacris, man. And I might not be saying this to the right person, but I think that, you know, as far as like being a punchline and a flow heavy guy that can adjust to every type of style of production and can make hit records and kind of gets understated with the rest of his peers because, you know, a lot of his stuff is kind of a little more lighthearted. I think that he's definitely the Ludacris of this era.
I can see that. Because people don't take him seriously as one of the best.
Yeah.
And he
raps his ass off. Like,
yeah, he can rap. I mean, technically he's really good. I mean, he can rap. I mean, there's really not a lot of holes in his game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next record on the list was Who the Crunkus. I know this is one of your favorite. Mike picked this joint. One of your favorite.
Everybody's talking about the Future in Kendrick's song. And as soon as I heard it, I thought of this. I mean, I know it comes from Everlasting Bass, of course, but this is Metro once again. And I'm saying this respectfully because I love Metro. Just basically taking on the 3-6, you know, Mafia production, like straight up, like not really reworking anything.
Maybe he thought people forgot. Maybe he thought people forgot.
I mean, it's been 20-something years, so yeah. I mean, it's right. I mean, our era did it too. Like it was sample something from the 70s.
Right. Next record was speaking of Metro Boomin and Future, Fried.
I liked Fried.
Yeah, that's a hard record. I liked it. What's one of the best? It was one of the best records on the album, in my
I
opinion.
thought it was funny. I thought it was a vibe, man. It was Future doing what Future does.
I like that. And the last song on the playlist, make sure you hit like and subscribe to the playlist as well, was The Games We Play by Pusha T off Daytona.
Such a fire record.
You like that record, Mike. Tell the people why you love that record so much, man.
I mean, the beat, the bars. I mean, ain't no stopping the champagne from popping, the laws or watching the draws from dropping with yay back chopping. The cars and the women come with options. I mean, the niggas just rapping crazy on there. And people on our show always tell Coop and I that Daytona is overrated. I don't hear it, man. Like, Daytona is crazy, y'all. The only knock that people have for Daytona is the 7 songs. Nobody can sit here and tell you a bad song on there. Now, granted, that's kind of a cheat code with it being 7 songs, but shit is crazy, man. I remember when that album dropped, I was playing that song over and over.
It's a crazy record, man. It's a crazy record. It's a crazy record. It's a crazy record. But that's the playlist, man. That's the week according to hip hop. We got a couple more topics before we get out of here. We got the I want to talk about Rick Rubin. I know we got this producer contest that we've been teasing for a little bit. That should be coming out soon. But we had Rick Rubin and Eric Sermon kind of matched up. Mike, what was your thinking when you matched them up on that joint?
I might have to rethink that. I don't know how respectful that is.
And
yeah.
Let me ask you, do you have Mike Dean on this list? Is he in the tournament?
He's not. And maybe that needs to be rethought too. Mike Dean, and I also thought about what's the other producer from Texas who produced with Pimp C. Y'all help me in the chat. And he did a lot for the Ghetto Boys, did a lot for Scarface and UGK. Know something. I was thinking like, yo, I might have to have him in the tournament too. Yeah, I don't know, man. Mike Dean's done so much. Mike Dean might need to be paired up with Rick Rubin because they're very similar style of producers as well. So yeah, we might have to add in that. We might have to add in that.
Yeah, Mike Dean. Mike.
No Joe. Yeah, No Joe is who I'm thinking about. Yes, I think that No Joe might possibly need to be added to the tournament too.
So let's look at it. So we had Rick Rubin, we had Eric Sermon kind of matched up.
Now the one that you outlined, oh, yeah.
I mean, I couldn't find what was shocking to me. I couldn't find any awards that Eric Sermon has won, and I found 8
platinum in the streets,
8 Grammys that Rick Rubin has won. He got Rock the Bells, 99 Problems, Rebel Without a Pause with Public Enemy. Then he did
work on Rebel Without a Pause.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The most beautiful thing.
I thought that was Bomb Squad.
Rock the Bells. You had his most valuable beat. You Got to Chill for Eric Sermon, Redman, collaborator, LL, frequent collaborator. I don't know. If we talking about hip hop, I'm gonna go with Eric Sermon. But if you talk about overall music producer, I mean, it's tough, bro.
Yeah, I love this presentation too, man. Good shit right here too, Ron. Let's go to okay. I agree with you. I think if we're talking hip hop, then we're gonna go Eric. If we're talking overall producer, then we're gonna go Rick. But this is a hip hop producer tournament, so I think Eric might get my vote there.
Yeah, if you're talking about overall producer in hip hop, I got to go with Eric. But man,
how high changed my life, man.
If you talk about overall producer and just music, I mean, you would have to say, I mean, this guy's worked with the Dixie Chicks, Tom Petty, Smashing Pumpkins, Rage Against the Machine.
That's not even a conversation. But you know what?
Adele. I think he did he did a crazy record for Adele. I didn't know he even made it. It's one of her biggest songs Rick Rubin made. I mean,
I feel the same way about the Beastie Boys, though. If we're talking about hip hop groups, then yeah, they're not going to rank as high. But if we talk about an overall group with the rest of the hip hop groups, they're beating people. Let's go to the Swiss and Just. because I want to talk about this before we talk about the Freaknik joint.
I don't got the graphics loaded up for Swiss and Just.
Let's just talk about Swiss and Just then.
Let's talk about what you think.
Who are you voting for if Swiss and Just Blaze are matched up, and why?
Okay, we got to get the rubric and the criteria down. But off top, we talk about longevity. I got to give the nod Swiss, right? Swiss started like 97, 98. You know what I mean? And his career has lasted long. I mean, the last crazy Swiss Beats record was the one with Wayne. What was that song called?
I know what you're talking about.
My hand on my hip.
Hip. Something like that. It's something about that.
I mean, you got to think about the stuff he's made with Gwen Stefani, the stuff he's made with Beyonce.
Well, we talking hip hop.
Yeah,
I'm not counting the Beyonce stuff and the Gwen stuff. I'm sorry, man. I gotta go Just. Even though I know Just is limited with the sample game, and even without the sample game, he does have stuff like Rock the Mic, Flip Side. Even though there is a sample for Pump It Up, it's not like a soul sample thing. I just like Just Blaze production more than I like Swiss's.
But let's talk about longevity, though.
I know. I mean, the longevity is one thing, but I don't really enjoy Swiss's. Well, all right, longevity.
Who had the bigger?
What's the last dope hip hop song that Swiss produced?
I just said it. The one with Lil Wayne. Chopper by my side. What's the joint called? Help me out in the chat. What's the one? You know what I'm talking about? The video.
I know what you're talking about. The one that had Alicia Keys at the end.
Right.
But what other song would you say? Because that doesn't seem to ring off in your mind like that.
I know he did some stuff with Busta's album, but I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't really feeling
Pistol by My Side.
Yeah, Pistol by My Side. Wasn't really feeling the work on the Busta's album. I mean, I can't really think of the last big. Okay, let me flip it back on you. What's the last Just Blaze record that was just hot?
It just rang off like that off the top of my head, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna say Exhibit C.
That's Mike. That's about 15.
Like 2009. Yeah. I mean, just off the top of my head, I did like that one song that he did with Rick Ross, Big Time. That was a few years ago. That was on Port of Miami too. But again, that would be slightly disingenuous because that would be almost like Pistol by My Side. I mean, that's a dope record, but was it really something that was crazy? Because I can't think of anything Swiss level that we can say happened in recent time either. He's just been around, which is cool. I think we confuse longevity with just being around too.
Was On to the Next one? When was that?
On to the Next one was 09. So if you want to put On to the Next one up against Exhibit C, go right ahead.
Let's go to the phone, man. Let's go to
somebody said Just Blaze did No Love. How recent was that though? Talking about the Wayne and Eminem record.
I'm gonna go to Google real quick, man, because I'm having a brain.
Gotta go to Google's.
Didn't they do a battle though? They did a battle. Didn't Justice Swiss do a battle?
And I felt like Just beat him then. Swiss was using unreleased songs that had Nas, Busta Rhymes, and Jay-Z and stuff on it, man. Like, and Just was just playing like, I mean, what does Swiss really have for I Really Mean It? What does Swiss really have for You Don't Know? What does Swiss really have for PSA, The Rock? These records are crazy, man. Just got a catalog.
I mean, I'm just gonna run from help my friend Google. You got Rough Riders Anthem, Banned from TV, Tear the Roof Off, Money Cash Hoes, Down Bottom, Juvenile and Swiss and Dragon, Got a Man by Eve, that was not good. Love is Blind, that wasn't good. Meth Bleak is not good. Jigama, not good. Girl's Best Friend, not that good. Things That You Do, Jay-Z feature Mariah Carey, no. Party Up.
I rest my case. I didn't like Party Up either, but
that's to me, Maya featuring Jadakiss, the original one.
The remix is better.
Spit These Bars was I like that record.
I like
These Bars to make
I ain't gonna front on them.
World War III, Scarface and Snoop Dogg with Rough Riders. That was okay. Wild Out was okay record. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't the best, you know. Put Your Hands Up, LL Cool J. Man, Bigger Business with
I like that record.
Big Business with Cassidy.
Yeah, I think Just Blaze got this, man.
Good Times with Styles P. Get It on the Floor with DMX. Snake, R. Kelly, Cameron, and Big Tigger. Hotel, Cassidy featuring R. Kelly. Bring them now. You got Bring Them Out. That was a big record.
It was a big record. I didn't love Bring Them Out, to be honest, but you know,
I'm a hustler.
B-Boy, yeah, I got Just Blaze in this one, man.
B-Boy Stance, Check Up on It by Beyonce, Slim Thug. Touch It, Busta Rhymes. We Ain't Here, DMX. Upgrade You, Get Me Bodied. I mean, he started getting this R&B bag around, you know, this time.
You know, and I hate that he's probably going to, and when it goes to the public voting, he's probably going to beat Just Blaze off of popularity, but he should.
I mean, he's gonna beat him because he has a lot of records. I mean,
these records ain't that good, man. Right. I'll just keep it fucking real, man. These records ain't that good.
I'm a Hustler's not a good record, Mike.
Come on, cool, man. Them records ain't no You Don't Know, no PSA. Like they're not, man. They're not The Rock. They're not I Really Mean It. They're not Oh Boy. They're not. Like they're not, man. And I hate that, man. Just Blaze such a cool, calm dude. He don't get on the record screaming and jumping in the hooks and bobbing his head and shit. So people ain't gonna consider him over Swiss. He's a much better beat maker than Swiss beats, man. He got Rock the Mic. Man, come on, man. He got What We Do Is Wrong in his catalog. This is sick, man. This shouldn't even be close.
I mean, you have a point, Mike.
This is sick, man. And when Swiss beats him, man, I'm gonna be very livid. It's gonna be sad.
I mean, we gotta get the criteria and the rubric right. We gotta make sure we talking about strictly hip hop. We ain't talking about the Gwen Stefani records. We're not talking about the Beyonce records. We're not talking about these other records. We talking about strictly hip hop. But I mean, he has a long resume, man.
All right, well, let's get to this Freaknik review so we can go ahead and get up out of here. I kind of got to roll in a second.
All right, Freaknik
Great
review.
Show, though.
I saw the Freaknik review. I saw the movie. I liked it. I mean, for one, I thought it was it touched on a lot of different things, right? It was a kind of an introspective of Atlanta politics, the music business. It touched upon how the music business worked in that era, how you had to make tapes. It wasn't like you had a Spotify playlist or you had a YouTube or a SoundCloud to get your records out. They were actually putting the singles out. And they said that's how the Face Records street team kind of organized the distribution of their records. So that was insightful. I thought it was good. I thought it was well put together. I kind of got confused at the beginning when I saw 21 Savage. I didn't understand how he kind of fit into it, but he kind of explained. He was an executive producer on the film. Explained that they were trying to bring it back in some sort of form or fashion. But I think those moments you can't kind of replicate. Like you can't replicate Woodstock. You can't replicate those certain times. And they kind of gave the history lesson of where Freaknik came from, which we kind of already knew being in Atlanta. But I thought it was overall pretty good. I thought it was well done. I was very surprised how good it was. I got the 305 hat because they touched on Miami a lot in the film with Uncle Luke, how they kind of brought that element to Freaknik and how it's kind of made it where it was, made it a little bit more, wilder than it needed to be, which kind of led to its demise over time. But I thought it was good. I give it a 7 out of 10. I give it maybe a 7.5. I thought it was cool.
I think that our first look, I liked it. I think they did a good job of covering a lot of things. One of the things that I liked the most was how they spoke to the originators, the college students that originally put together Freaknik and how it originally came about in the 80s. I think that's really important. I'm all about the origin stories and things like that. I do think they skipped a couple parts, it felt like. Once they got into, I guess Jermaine and Luke, it kind of, we don't know how the originals or the ones who were the creators of Freaknik, how they felt about the turn that Freaknik made, right? Because this was about a celebration, right? This was college students coming together. This wasn't, it's college students coming together, having a picnic, having a good time, playing some music. It wasn't what it turned into. And they didn't get any insight from those college students about how they felt about that turn, or, were they even being asked to be involved in any of those things?
Well, no, I think it got commercialized, right? You started getting, you had club promoters, you had record labels pushing stuff out. Kind of became like CIAA in Charlotte, man. It got wild. I mean,
but again, I would have liked to have heard their take on it.
They said something. They said they didn't like it. They said it wasn't what they had created. And one of the dudes that was on the committee, he was the one who was pushing, the mayor to kind of get rid of it. You saw the end of the movie. He was like, yo, this is not what I signed up. He was on the committee to get rid of it. He was one of the founders of Freaknik. So it was wild.
And I didn't really understand, like you said, 21 Savage's involvement. And I've spoken how I felt about that part. I think they tried to kind of force that on the viewing public because they were trying to get a younger audience, which I think was unnecessary. I don't think they had to do that.
No.
I do think that they also tried to, make it a bit tame, which was cool. I don't just living it, right? And I wasn't old enough to be there, but I remember the news coverage and, older people that were around us that, went. I don't think this is the total truth to put it on the Olympics to make it seem like the Olympics was the reason why it ended. It's part of that, but that was going to happen anyway. I mean, it just gotten too wild. It was out of control. The freeways, people stopping on the freeway and just having a party right there, like it shut down the city, and the city wasn't going to continuously let that happen regardless. But yeah, the documentary kind of just put it on the Olympics, like, okay, well, the Olympics came, it was big money and big bank take little bank type of thing. It's like, it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than that, but it was a big part of it. It was a big part of it because they didn't want. I mean, I was thinking to myself while I was watching it, I was like, well, the 94 Freaknik, 95 Freaknik didn't stop. It didn't stop. Oh, I think it was like 4 years. 92, 93 Freaknik didn't stop the Olympics from coming because you had to do an assessment of the city to award, the Olympic Games to Atlanta anyway. They didn't stop.
I think that announcement happened in like 91 though, right?
Right. When they said 94.
Very early. So yeah, I don't think Freaknik was even on the radar when the announcement happened, because I remember being in elementary school when that announcement happened.
Okay, so it didn't
the announcement happened very early, and I don't think Freaknik was even on the radar at that point.
All right, so they didn't kick off in high gear because they said 94 was the best year ever of Freaknik. So
yeah.
But I don't know. I think you can't. I think people are really trying to. They showed at the end his brother trademarked the name. He's trying to bring it back and make it like a festival. You can't bring that energy back with social media, cancel culture.
You just got to start something new, man. I mean, listen, man, we talk about the Source magazine all the time and what it meant to us in the 90s. Like, the Source is still around. I say this respectfully, but it's not what it was in the 90s. The Source Awards is not what it was in 95. You bring that back, it's not going to be that. You just got to do something new.
Got to do something new. But I thought it was well done. And I think that with the World Cup coming to Atlanta in a couple of years, a lot of this foolishness that's happening in the city is going to be done with too, man. They're going to clean things up. But
yeah, that's what happens.
I don't know, man. But we're going to have a According to Hip Hop Festival, man. We ain't trying to recreate nothing. We're going to do our own thing.
It's going to be very, very dope. I'm looking forward to it. It's
going to be interactive. But we had a good show today. It's a jam-packed show.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're still trying to march to 25,000 subscribers. I know we got, Wednesday, Mike D and Coop, A2HH Live. We're going to talk about the Saturday schedule with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's Monday night. We had a good night. Shout out to Amir for joining us. Shout out to Pete Rock. We'll get those audio issues fixed next time. Shout out to Mickey Fax, Pendulum Inc. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of stuff going on, Mike. Any last words? All right, Wednesday it is. A2HH Live with Mike D and Coop. I'm the camera guy, RKY. Peace.
Great work. Let's get that tournament up.
All right, no doubt, brother.
Yes, sir.